Okay, guys. So we're gonna watch the Nintendo Direct. I'm gonna turn my desktop audio up, and my normal audio down. So I've seen teensy bits of this because I had to wind it back. See, now I was gonna live stream this until I realized instead of 6 p.m. it's 6 a.m. I'm like, I'm not waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning just to watch this. So I guess here we go. I think we gotta skip through it. How long is this thing? The waiting time thing, is it? Did the direct literally just start? I'll start skipping 10 seconds into the video. Here, let me look at it. Oh. Okay. This is really bizarre. Okay, so it begins at like this part. Okay, we're just gonna awkwardly sit here and like skip a little bit through it. Okay, here we go.
Hello everyone, I'm Masahiro Sakurai, director of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate from Sora Limited. We'll be using today's showcase to give you a first look at our next DLC fighter. Actually, hardly anyone knows what we'll be announcing today, even among Nintendo staff worldwide. The development team and other stakeholders have been working on this fighter with the utmost secrecy, which means other Nintendo staff around the globe will only start making preparations for release after the showcase has been broadcast. So, it won't be available right away. Please understand that it will take a little time. I think even many Nintendo employees will be surprised to see this and say, wow, really?
Minecraft Steve
So,
enters.
let's all share in the fun of getting our hands on the latest information. However, even if you say, that's not the character I was picturing, I hope you don't have any hard feelings. We prepared a fighter reveal video. Once it starts, I think you'll figure out who it is pretty quickly. Now, let's do this.
Okay. Here we go. Oh my gosh. Who's Kylo Ren? That's freaking another Fire Emblem character, and it's a sword character. You really had to make it a sword character. You could have picked any other one. There's like 5 other characters you could have picked. And one had axe, I remember. One had a bow. You could have picked that. No, I'm gonna pick the sword one. I'm gonna pick the sword one. I like the sword one. Isn't like there's 15 other sword characters.
What were you thinking, charging right into an enemy's trap? As you and I are one, I too am trapped within this void. In time, our hearts and minds will cease to be. Are you prepared to die?
Oh wow.
I thought
you picked the blue hair character. It's literally Mark.
And yet,
It's Marth. It is literally Marth.
there is no other choice. You must join Smash.
Huh?
Join Smash Brothers already! What in the world are you waiting for?
Bloody took that from Gino. Wow.
So joining Smash consumes even the darkness itself.
Alright, this better have a unique thing. If there's literally a parry, I'm gonna stop this video. Okay. Oh, so it's like Simon Belmont.
So you return, and sooner than expected. I see. Too many swordsmen, are there?
Oh.
And you wield the sword as well?
What?
What will you do?
Uh-huh.
Huh. So that is how you plan to win the day? So be it. I reward your cleverness this time.
Oh.
How is this?
Oh my gosh. Wow. Really got me there.
Of anyone, you should be able to handle the hero's relics. With errant fire, strike with superior reach. Use a mere
I forgive you now. I thought you could release another sword fighter. Now you're releasing a character
Unleash
with
the
a
blinding
bow,
speed of
an
Failnaught.
axe, and a sword. Oh, there's
Along with
another
the
one.
sword of the creator. Each
Heinous
weapon
Fear.
matches a direction.
All of them. It was kind of funny.
Your will and mine be now as one. To you, both sides of time are revealed. Through Smash, show the world.
Wow. Alright, I actually don't mind that much anymore. That they are going to release another Fire Emblem character.
Yes, there you have it. Byleth from Fire Emblem Three Houses
Byleth.
is joining the battle. Fire Emblem Three Houses was released just last summer, so it's still very new. Even so, you'll soon be able to play as them in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. This release is planned for January 28th. You'll have instant access if you have the Super Smash
$6.
Bros. Ultimate Fighters Pass, and it will also be available for purchase
I thought they
individually.
were $5.
In case you're not familiar with Fire Emblem or Three Houses, I'll explain a few things, so don't worry. First off, what is Fire Emblem? It's really hard to pronounce in Japanese. The producer said it's okay if I just say Fire Emblem. But when writing it, if you don't write Fire Emblem, the Fire Emblem police will come and get you, so please be careful. The series' first entry launched in Japan on the Famicom in 1990. You could say it was a pioneer in the genre of tactical role-playing games. You might be wondering what makes it particularly tactical. Well, it's tactical in that it simulates combat. You can think of it as moving pieces in a board game, or in other words, a game in which you advance units across a grid and battle. When we talk about tactical games of that era, there were lots of ones in which you command tanks, aircrafts, and so on. But Fire Emblem was unique because each unit was a specific character, sort of like in role-playing games.
I want to see the bead costumes or like.
Plus, something
other
made it
things.
stand out from
You know,
other Nintendo
last
products.
time, you know, like good old Banjo,
Characters
we talked about good old
permanently
Banjo
die.
and Sans in
That's
it.
pretty direct language, though.
And
So
I was like,
perhaps
no,
we should
I'm not
just
gonna
say
watch
they're
Banjo. I
sleeping
didn't
with
want to watch
fishes.
Banjo. I'm not gonna watch Banjo being shown. It isn't
But
like I
really,
would have
if
had
a
the best
character fell in
reaction
battle,
ever.
you lose that unit. They'd be gone, and you couldn't use them again. Recent entries in the series maintain this concept of permadeath to some degree in classic mode and what have you, but a lot of games now allow
Permadeath.
strategic
Those
withdrawals,
blocks
so to
fire
speak.
them.
In the older games, your units would really be gone, never to be mentioned again. Scary. The game's stories are told like chronicles of war, with increasingly distinct characters and engrossing scenarios.
Play Fire Emblem Nuzlocke.
Several characters also appear in the Super Smash Bros. Series, and 6 of the 7 can use a counterattack. It's their down special.
6 of the 7.
There's actually a reason for this. When I was considering how to incorporate Fire Emblem fighters into Super Smash Bros. Melee, I thought it might be interesting to reflect the turn-based nature of the original game. First comes your opponent's turn. They attack and you counter. Next comes your turn. And now, Fire Emblem Three Houses is the 17th game in the series. People who
God,
aren't
there's
Japanese in
17
particular might be
characters.
thinking, 17 games? There are that many? Well, if you include Fire Emblem Heroes in the remakes, but you don't include the Satellaview game, Tokyo Mirage Session Sharp FE, and Fire Emblem Warriors, then it comes out to 17 games. Let's try saying them in the Fire Emblem Can You Say It challenge. I'll give it a try.
暗黒竜と光の剣、外伝紋章の謎、聖戦の系譜、トラキア776、封印の剣、劣化の剣、聖魔の功績、荘園の奇跡、暁の女
Is he gonna
神
do it? Is he gonna do it?
新暗黒竜新紋章、覚醒イフヒーローズエコーズ風化雪月
There you go,
So he did
17.
it. Ooh.
今変な数え方してます
So
ね
you saw how I was counting in a weird way, right? I was counting in binary.
つまりこれが全部
This is 0. Fold this here and you get 1, and then you get 2, then 2 plus 1 equals 3. So this would be 4, 5, 6, 7, and
That's
8.
confusing.
And then you get 16. Add 1 and you get 17. Awesome, isn't it? You can actually count up to 31 on one hand. And if you use both hands, you can count all the way up to 1023.
Another oddly
畳の
specific
数を
number.
数える目の数を
If you've given up counting the knots in a tatami mat, you could always give it a go. What is Fire Emblem Three Houses? In Japanese, the male version of the main character is called Bereto and the female version is called Beresu, but in English they share the same name, Byleth. Byleth becomes a professor who ends up leading one of 3 academic houses. Once you've chosen a house, you guide them through their school life, and, well, you end up fighting the other houses. After a certain incident, 5 years pass, and you meet up with your grown-up students to battle against the other houses in their regions. It's a very sad game in which your former allies become enemies, turn hostile, and try to kill you. To understand the concept of Fire Emblem Three Houses, I played an early version of the game before its release.
Well, we're really careful with Dante.
I've done the same thing before, with The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, for example. Because I couldn't wait until launch to experience it, or we'd have never made it in time. For that title, I borrowed an early version of the game for 2 days, ran around all the areas, saw the ending, and realized for the first time, I guess we can't really have Breath of the Wild's Princess Zelda as a fighter. I did the same this time, but with there being 3 houses and multiple endings, it was really hard to get a feel for it. And of course, there weren't any walkthroughs I could reference. The game has multiple routes and the outcome of each is very different. Your experience will vary depending on the route you choose, and many of the characters you meet will adopt different roles in the story. I'll try to avoid spoilers when I'm talking about the fighter. I hope you'll understand. Before my demonstration, I should point out that when I did the Terry Bogard showcase video, I mentioned that it was recorded a month in advance. But this time, we have to account for the holidays and such, so we're filming 2 months in advance of this video's release. Right now, it's actually November.
Oh.
Therefore, some of what I'm about to show you might differ a bit from the finished version. As always, I'm using a special in-game camera and such for demonstration purposes. Here I go.
Yeah, I know it's Japanese, but still, I thought.
So this is our new fighter, Byleth. Sadly, they're lacking in mobility. It's maybe a bit better than Robin's, but that's about all you can say for them. Throws are not their strong point either. Their grab lacks range. But actually, you could say that they're distance demon. The hero's relic they use changes depending on the direction you input with the stick. Each of the hero's relics is a weapon that appears in Fire Emblem Three Houses. They look like bones, and there's a reason for that. First, let's talk about the weapon Byleth uses for upward inputs, the Sword of the Creator. The Sword of the Creator here is Byleth's default weapon. They use it for flurry attacks and tilt attacks, such as down tilt attacks, where it takes the form of a whip. They also use the sword for dash attacks and other moves. For their up smash attack, they'll whip the sword upward to launch enemies in the air.
Really weird.
For their up air attack, they'll wave the whip sword overhead. The hit detection for this attack lasts for a relatively long time. The up special move is really something. The sword extends like this, allowing you to do things like this.
It's like so
It was
bizarre.
pretty terrifying how I knocked him into the air with that attack. And in addition, you can do awful things like this. That said, you'll launch opponents upward until their damage reaches a certain percentage. Exceed that percentage and you'll need to be careful. You may find it helpful to mid-air dodge. I've already shown this, but you can also use it to latch onto edges. So that's the up special. Now for the sideways inputs. This is Erdvar, the same name as the weapon from
I
Celtic
feel like
mythology.
should like Dante at the end, and that's like actually the last one.
First,
and
we'll
this
go
is
through the
sixth
forward
one.
and back air attacks.
'Cause that kinda
As you can
messes up
see,
the
they
thing,
have a long
because-
reach. Like so.
Because like, you know, like all the 4 other ones were third party
Marth's
related.
air attack keeps
and then the
opponents in
last one
check
would be
too,
third
right?
party related. And then all
If
the other
Byleth
ones are
does the
just
same
wild
thing,
card.
you'd win out, so you should be able to beat it. Next, the side smash attack. This also has a long range. It'll connect even from here. Also, if you add an upward tilt, it will be stronger.
Can't wait to be recovering your
And if you've
when I
knocked
get
an
one-shotted
opponent
by
down,
that.
the side attack won't hit unless you add a downward tilt to aim for them. By the way, the tip of the lance is more powerful. The shaft part is weaker, so it's not suited to close combat. It won't deal much damage, and it won't launch opponents far. That's why, as a rule, you want to hit with the blade part aimed upward, or downward in this case.
Or downward.
Next, the side special move. Byleth will simply swing the lance like this, but again, it has excellent reach. For
You know,
example,
I'm just
even
gonna
when
skip through this because you guys, I don't really have any good reactions. I don't really competitively play Super Smash Bros. So I don't really have in my opinions on his moves.
Iron arrow.
If I'm bored,
I will
I'll
still
rewatch this and I'll look at
I
all
will
his
need
moves.
to, of course, understand what I'm referring to. The sixth color is based on Sothis, who you just saw earlier. And the 7th and 8th variations have a different hair color, which is based on something that occurs in the course of the original game's story. Didn't we see this variation in the final Smash?
He has nothing to say about it. Well, alright, here we go. Ooh, what?
Next, I'll introduce the stage. For this
Oh.
one, we of course tried to recreate the place where you spend most of the game.
Here, how about I get to the live part?
For that, with just our vendors on either side. But you can pass through this area in Fire Emblem 3 thanks to this mysterious and Petra of the Black the terrible ordeal down.
Alright, now it's live. We'll just sit here and watch it live with him now.
However, Byleth can't actually reach it, even though it's their stage. You can reach it with other fighters though.
Huh.
So, it's nice if you can work your way up there by getting lucky and being launched up, or perhaps by using another fighter as a stepping stone. There we go, I made it. And you can knock it down. Also, you can break this table. Like so.
Oh wow.
Just like the sign that reads Fudin Kazan in the Suzaku Castle stage, it can break if you launch the opponent into it at close range. Next up, the bridge. The camera rotates 90 degrees, creating this long area. It's very wide indeed.
Oh, okay.
It's similar to the Bridge of Elden stage.
Yeah.
The guests are from the Golden Deer: Claude, Hilda, and Lawrence. They belong to the Leicester Alliance. Because it's an alliance of many noble families, you could say that they have a wide assortment of members. And Claude is the sharpest of the bunch. Incidentally, both Claude and Hilda are the names of characters that appear in Genealogy of the Holy War, the 4th title in the Fire Emblem series. I guess once you've reached the 17th game and are creating 40 characters for each new entry, you're bound to get a bit of name overlap. The naming process must be tough. Hey, it looks like the Pegasus Knight is busy training. As for the bridge's design, it's just a long pathway, plain and simple. You can expect plenty of blows to be exchanged at the edges of the screen.
Ooh, okay, that's the bow is like a
You could also say it's a place where the fail knot really shines, and in this sense, I think it suits the Golden Deer perfectly.
Alright, now the next area.
The last area is the cathedral, only with some platforms you can pass
I just want to
through.
get to the new costumes.
The guests appearing in the cathedral are Seta,
Like Minecraft
Flame,
Steve.
and Rhea. There's Seta, who appears to have an extremely strong bond with his sister, Flame. She seems to be under the protection of him and Rhea, who you can see fighting during the opening of Fire Emblem Three Houses. All three have character quirks related to their true identities. I feel that Flame might be saying shush at this point, so I'll leave it at that. This is a simple area of the stage. All it has are these platforms. Being the last area, it may be a place where some intense battles will be waged. It'll cycle through each location in about 2.5 minutes.
Oh, alright, we're gonna see him literally sweat
Okay,
on someone.
today we'll have a tag team battle in Squad Strike with the DLC team pitted against Fire Emblem protagonists from throughout the ages. That'll give us precisely 5 players per side. Alright, here we go, Joker. Joker!
What the?
And Hero!
I'm not hero.
Gee, we really made it long,
Good.
huh? Banjo! By now, I think you know what I'm doing.
Yeah,
But basically, I'm trying to defeat all 5 opponents with just the Professor here. But as expected, it's going to be a pretty tough battle, so I'm using anything I can get my hands on.
playing with items, I feel like.
It's not going to land that easily. Uh-oh, this is bad. Bennigan's. I better keep my distance. I'll use this chance to attack.
Ooh, got him.
Got him.
Dang.
That's scary. He's invincible for a moment here. Lots of explosives. Ouch.
Okay, is he gonna do it? Is he gonna do it?
Perfect
Is he gonna
shield
get
at
him?
that, huh?
Is he gonna get Ike?
Good one.
Ooh, is he getting Ike? He's gonna get it. Ooh.
If I do this, like this, or like so.
Oh, he's
No
gonna get
anti-air,
it.
huh?
Ooh. Okay, got
There,
him. Okay.
the soccer ball connected.
Put his flame sword just.
Good. There's Mom. You're in a good spot, Mom. Ah, I shouldn't have taken that. Gardevoir. Well, I guess no one uses projectiles. At this point, it doesn't matter if Gardevoir's there or not. I feel like the enemy might get this Smash Ball. See? They got it.
Yeah, but it's easy
But I
to
mustn't
dodge
give
Smart's
up.
final smash, so
I can't
shield
miss this
broke
chance.
him.
There's another Smash Ball. Yes, got
He
it.
just got it, one shot at it.
Now! What are you charging up for? There's still more. Whack! Go on, you can take the hammer, but it's mine. Although I'm scared I might get hit with a counter in this state.
Oh,
I hit him!
you got him.
I was trying to fight using Byleth's abilities alone, but what matters is that I won. Good game.
You got him. Wow.
It can be fun to play like this, especially in tag team, so I think it's a good idea to try imposing different types of challenges on yourself. The end. Now, about the additional music. Since it's from the Fire Emblem series, we'll be adding each of the new tracks to all the Fire Emblem stages. There are already a lot of Fire Emblem tracks in the game. Our selection this time has been made taking those existing tracks into consideration. 11 songs are being added. This includes an arrangement of the main theme in both Japanese and English. I hope you'll enjoy these as well.
Oh yeah, I see GP. JP.
We're also adding in a new spirit board. It includes the house leaders among some of the other popular characters. Sothis is legend class.
And that's funny.
Also,
funny
there's
that,
a new
like, the
classic
three
mode
house
route,
characters
a
have the
heroic
abilities.
legacy, which is designed to let you enjoy classic Fire Emblem stages from throughout the series' history. The final battle is against Master Hand and Crazy Hand, but you'll find that something pretty amusing happens, so look forward to that. Now for the Mii Fighter costumes.
Alright,
Please take
here
a
you
look.
go. Here's the actual good part. Let's get ready. Alright, my actual reaction. Here we go. Alright, Route 5. Round 5. Okay, it's Assassin's Creed? What the heck? Wait, no, is this Assassin's Creed guy? Okay, rabbits. Oh, rabbit hat. Okay, Mega Man X. Guys, I'm scared. Any second, something can appear. I'm literally. Okay, Mega Man Battle Work. I'm sure that there's gonna be a Pokemon related one, and then after that something's gonna pop up. Oh, Cuphead! Oh, Cuphead! Oh my gosh! It's Cuphead! Dang! Answer me down there. So are they gonna the attack they're gonna look big, like Cuphead? Even with a music track. So Sam's last hand, that's Cuphead. Okay, not as big as the last one, because literally Sans comes out of nowhere, but still, it's pretty good.
This time, we're releasing a Cuphead costume. And for those of you who purchased the Cuphead costume, an additional song will be added. It's called Floral Fury, and it's the theme that plays when fighting Cagney Carnation. I hope you enjoy these as well. After purchasing a costume, I recommend using the sharing feature. If someone has created a Mii Fighter, you can play using the costume it's wearing immediately after you download it.
Why are they
And
all
now,
like anime
onto the
characters?
amiibo.
And then there's just Sans. Richter and Dark Samus.
The color palette for Dark Samus looks pretty good, doesn't it? Dark Samus and Richter are planned for release on Friday, January 17th.
Even let him focus in, and it looks so weird.
And now, with the addition of Violet, the Fighter's Pass is finally complete. The lineup was Joker, Hero, Banjo and
Are you still able
Kazooie,
to
Terry
buy it?
Bogard, and Byleth. From more than 70 fighters, only 5 have been added. But I must say, this game has always been an exceptional experience. And since the roster was already so large to begin with, right from the start, we intended to make the most out of the new gameplay mechanics and so on. There really were a lot of new mechanics, weren't there? When we add a new fighter, we don't simply make their attacks or their movements a little different. Instead, we try to offer you a whole new style of play. As I stated, we'll continue to release more DLC fighters down the line. I had thought that 1 or 2 might suffice, but, well, have a look.
Oh, we got another one. We got another one. Steve. 5 more. Wow. 6? Dang. It's gonna be 81. That's the
Looks like there'll be one more fighter than last time.
81 characters.
For this reason, we will be releasing the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Fighters Pass Volume 2. It will be available for pre-purchase on the date shown, so please keep an eye out. And now that it's official, we intend to move ahead with development. Of course, like last time, the contents will remain unknown for now, and I'm personally very sorry that we have to release Fighters Pass Volume 2 when the details have yet to be revealed.
It's gonna be revealed
Like last time, I'd be very grateful if, despite that, you would understand why and purchase it. Furthermore, the new additions have already been decided. Even if I receive many requests regarding potential candidates on Twitter, I'm afraid it would be very hard to consider them.
One's gonna be Dante.
But I still hope you'll look forward to it. We're also including a bonus with Fighters Pass Volume 2. Last time, it was a Rex costume. But this time, here's what we have.
Steve. Oh, wait, what? Oh, Guardian.
It's a Mii Fighter costume for Mii Sword Fighter, the ancient soldier gear from The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. This will not be for sale individually, so it can only be acquired as part of Fighters Pass Volume 2.
Lately.
It's been reported that Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is the highest-selling fighting game in the world. Personally, I don't know if it counts as simply a fighting game, but I guess it's seen as a fighting game around the world.
It's a fighting game?
Seems like Street Fighter 2 was in the lead for a while, but now Super Smash Bros. Ultimate has surpassed it in total sales. However, I'm not sure if this is accurate. There were 5 versions of Street Fighter 2, or 6 to 7 if we really want to get into the weeds. Plus, there's the arcade versions and the 25 ports to other systems, so I don't know if that's been accounted for. Also, I don't know if that really qualifies as one game. It's up for discussion. So, who knows? But when it comes to a single piece of software, it seems like Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is #1. Although, I still don't know if it can really be called just a fighting game. I feel like it's become more than a fighting game, some sort of celebration of gaming or something else entirely. Also, I feel a deep attachment to the 5 DLC fighters. The first Fighters Pass just wrapped up, but it was decided that there will be more DLC, which means no breaks for me. I plan to keep working hard, so I hope you can continue to support us. That's it. Thank you.
There it is, that was all of it. Okay, I'm just gonna sit here for a little longer. There might be something at the very end. Alright. That was it. Everyone's literally spamming in the chat. Alright. I'm gonna end it here.